Welcome to World Travel Made Easy with Itinerary Boss, the podcast for busy professionals, entrepreneurs, and business owners who want to travel smarter, save money, and plan unforgettable trips without the stress. I'm Ross, your host and the founder of Itinerary Boss. I spent a decade building a career in healthcare, software, and medical device sales while planning both personal and business trips across more than 20 countries. Whether it was group getaways with friends, couples trips, or just mapping out business territories, I became the go-to person for saving money on flights, organizing those logistics, and using points to elevate the experience. Now, as an entrepreneur and business owner, I help others do the same by showing you how to travel better using points, smart planning, and those proven strategies. Each week, we bring you expert guests, step-by-step tutorials on points and miles, and real-world itineraries that we've used to help you plan with confidence. Whether it's using points to travel better, exploring a new destination, or just learning how to maximize your spending, we've got you covered. Before we dive in, go ahead and grab one of our free tools in the show notes. One, the points and miles cheat sheet that'll help you get started earning and redeeming points to save thousands on travel, or the stress-free travel toolkit that includes a budget guide, packing checklist, and planning tips to save you time and hassle. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or busy professional looking to choose your next credit card or get help maximizing your everyday spending for rewards and booking free travel, book a free one-on-one consultation. You can find the link within the show notes or head over to itineraryboss.com. And if this episode helps you, please share it with a friend or family member, follow the show, and leave a 5-star review. It's the best way that helps us grow. Now, let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to another episode of World Travel Made Easy with Itinerary Boss and another episode around our points and miles series. Today, we're going to dive into beginner credit card mistakes to avoid. And if you've ever earned 50,000 points, then accidentally cash those out for $250 gift card or just a $500 statement credit within the portal, you're not alone. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to help you save hundreds to thousands of dollars and months of frustration just by covering 9 mistakes I see beginners make over and over. So let's go ahead and dive in, and I'll also provide just some stories because I've been in your shoes, right? When I started back in this in 2014 and just over the years of traveling personally and professionally, I made some of these mistakes and had to learn some of these lessons. So learn from my mistakes, and we're going to set you up for success. First mistake that I always see is people picking the wrong card. So I think a lot of the times there's like marketing. You may hear from different friends, oh, you got to get this card, but that may not align with your goals. So I think deciding on where are you spending your money. And we offer free one-on-one consultations if you're looking to learn more about how, you can pick the right card. So I think that's first is thinking about where do you spend your money? Is it travel? Is it groceries? Is it shopping? And we have some upcoming episodes. We're going to do deeper dives into specific use cases on things like travel, shopping, for busy professionals, if you're a business owner, a real estate investor, just getting started out. Which, if you go back to our former episode, if you're a beginner in this, we kind of outline the best beginner cards. So I think that's first, always just look into what's most important because sometimes if you pick the wrong card, they might not have, and we'll get into this later, but they may not have transfer partners, maybe near your home airport hub. So that's very key. So picking the wrong card sometimes can be the first mistake. The second mistake, which, one of the biggest strategies with points and miles and credit cards is the welcome offer that you get when you hit a minimum spend in that first 3, 4, 5, 6 months that the card offers. So sometimes there's elevated offers. So if the minimum spend is spend $3,000 in the first 3 months to earn 60,000 points or miles, make sure that you hit that. That's another big thing that I see. So that's one, because once you have that's how you're going to earn, a lot of your miles is by opening up those cards. And then also once you hit the sign up and once you start to use your card more and more, bonus categories. So for example, if you spend a lot of your money on groceries, shopping, those things. Dialing in on that four times the points if you spend more money on travel, three times the points if you want to book through the portal. And we'll get into this in our next episode. You can sometimes get five, 10 times the points booking travel through the portal. So just some of those things to think about so you aren't just getting the default 1% on those. And a prime example for me is I have my favorite personal card for travel that I use specifically for travel, dining, because it gets three times the points. I have it connected to my Lyft account because it gets 10 times the points. We also have one of its cards, sister cards, that has five times the points on those on Lyft, two times the points on groceries or on dining and travel. So just thinking about those types of things. And I have my everyday card that gets two times the points on everything. So, and that's on utilities, bills, things like that. So always look at bonus categories and depending on which card you have, looking within the portals sometimes, and we'll dive into some of these as we get into some more advanced strategies. And we share some of these in our newsletter weekly. But you can get 10 times, 15 times the points maybe on Viator, Get Your Guide, other things. So a great time to look for those is around the holiday season because sometimes those points accelerators are elevated around the holiday season when merchants are trying to get you to shop more. They have some of those sales. So depending on which card you have, always look through the portal. The fourth mistake that I see is you get excited, you have shiny card on object syndrome. Everyone once they realize, oh, I can travel pretty much for free, besides some taxes and fees. Um, I want to go apply for all these different cards, get all the welcome offers, bonuses, and do this. Make sure you're spacing out some of those applications, and always think about what is this card going to do for me, and is there a specific trip that I'm going on? Are there specific maybe hotels that we're staying in? Are there Right. I think, and also, are there airlines that we're looking to fly? Are there specific transfer partners? And, if you're a beginner or intermediate here and you're still wondering what are transfer partners, we're going to dive deep into those specific use cases. We have our free points and miles cheat sheet that you can grab within the show notes if you want to learn a little bit more about that. But that's really one thing that you want to focus in on. The fifth thing that I see people make a mistake is carrying a balance or paying interest. This is something that when I started, booking travel and getting a ton of points through, and I was probably, hey, I wanted to take a quick break to say thank you so much for tuning into the show. The only way the show grows is through listeners like you helping us share it. So if you're enjoying the show, it'd mean the world to me if you hit that 5-star rating, shared it with a friend or family member who's ready to travel more, save money, or just needs a little bit more inspiration and that nudge. And if you're posting about it on Instagram, go ahead and tag Itinerary Boss, and we'll make sure to reshare it and shout you out for giving us a shout out. Thanks so much for the support. It truly means a lot. And now back with the show. 25, 26, when I was booking some of our group trips, carrying a balance, whether that's a statement balance, or and not paying that off and only paying the minimum spend and then getting charged that, whatever the interest rates are on that. Make sure you're always paying that statement balance. And a best practice is auto pay on full for the statement balance. And then the sixth mistake I see people make is using the wrong card for big ticket purchases. So for example, say you have a big, you're booking a group trip, you're paying for the Airbnb, you're paying, you're booking with 10 people for a trip and you're booking tours, like always figuring out what does that earn on travel? And also, another tip is, going into the portal and seeing, are there any sort of accelerators? Are there for, if you're booking a tour, for example, on Get Your Guide and there's 10 times the points and you're a Capital One portal, booking through that because then you're going to earn, say it's $1,000, you're going to earn $10,000 on that because of that points accelerator. So thinking about those things for big ticket purchases. One of the biggest mistakes I also see, and this is once you have it right, is say you have 60,000 points, and I mentioned this at the beginning, redeeming those points for gift cards or statement credits. Gift cards don't do that. Statement credits, same thing. If it says, hey, you have 60,000 points, you can redeem this for $600 within the portal for a statement credit. Definitely don't do that because you're devaluing your points for sure. And when you are booking through flights or hotels through the portal. I think one thing, because and we'll dive into this within the next episode, but when you start to think about and you start to look at some of these cards where it says 5, 10 times the points, when you are booking those flights or hotels through the portal, they are an online travel agency. So make sure that you check with on say American Airlines, on United, on the flight Hyatt, Marriott, checking on the direct booking site because, for example, if you're going, let's just say you're going to Alaska and you're catching a cruise and you have a couple layovers, or you're going internationally, you have layovers and you have somewhere to be, you definitely want to make sure that you're booking direct because if something happens, you're then going to have to go through the online travel agency. So you're going to have two layers to figure out what your cancellation, what your rebooking is, that type of stuff, versus if you go direct with the airline, with the hotel, they'll be able to give you that update on, hey, here's when your new flight is, and here's, what, and you can just go back and forth with them. So it makes it an easier process. So always, before you book with the portal, I know it might say more, but something to think about is, and we'll dive deeper into this on the next episode. Is it a domestic? Is it a national? What are kind of the layers within the trip that I have coming up? And then lastly, transferring points without comparing different partners. So, and we'll get into this. And again, check out our free points and miles cheat sheet. If you're still confused about what transfer partners are, we share content all around this, and also have, that free one-on-one consultation where we can get more into this as well. But, tr being able to look at what are the different airlines that my card may transfer to. What about hotels? Because sometimes the values on those can be significant. So always comparing different flight options, not just booking what you see on Google Flights, Hopper, stuff like that. Um, so that would be my suggestion, and we'll get into that within the next episode that we have coming out next week. And then a couple bonuses. Um, Make sure that, a lot of people ask, should I close my oldest card? I have this, Discover student card from 15 years ago. No, because that hurts your credit age. Also, always make sure within, if you are part of different rewards programs, you understand when their points expire. For example, Hyatt, their points do expire. So looking into that, making sure so you don't leave those points on the table and lose those. But those are the 9 mistakes that we want you to avoid. And if you want, like I had mentioned, go ahead. If you're trying to get started, grab the points and miles cheat sheet. It'll have, for beginners, it's great because it has 4 quick actionable tips to help you get started. If you're kind of in the intermediate and you're starting to look for that second, third, fourth card, and you want to understand, what are some of the different credit card multipliers, and have card breakdowns, we also have that in there. And then we have a one-page transfer partner guide, which helps you kind of understand what cards transfer to what rewards programs and cards transfer to hotels as well as airlines. But appreciate everyone tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give it a 5-star review. That helps us grow the show. Make sure you're able to share it with a family or friend who wants to travel more or is always asking about credit cards, points and miles, things like that. And we will look forward to seeing you next week and showing you how we're going to help you out around the portal, as well as transfer partners.